One thing about me, I actually love the Twilight book covers, the original ones anyway, and I actually love talking about the meanings of them, and I also love that some people don't know that we actually do get nods to each of the book covers in all of the films, and I really love that. And also, since we have this new book set for the 20th anniversary and these all have different cover art, I think it would be really fun to dive into all of it. But first thing I want to say, just to get it out of the way before we begin, these atrocities that you are now seeing in the bookstore that have been out for a couple years will never be real to me. Every time I go to Barnes & Noble, which is pretty frequently, I look at these and I just deep sigh that this is what people are now looking at, because are you kidding me? Starting with the apple on the cover of Twilight, I think this is gorge, so pretty and gothic and simple and perfect, and this is what attracted little me to Twilight before I even knew it was about vampires and started my long-term insanity about it. Stephanie says, the apple on the cover of Twilight represents forbidden fruit. I used the scripture from Genesis because I love the phrase, the fruit is the knowledge of good and evil. Isn't this exactly what Bella ends up with? A working knowledge of what good is and what evil is. The nice thing about the apple is it has so many symbolic roots. You've got the apple in Snow White, one bite and you're frozen forever in a state of not quite death. Then you have Paris and the golden apple in Greek mythology. Look how much trouble that started. Apples are quite the versatile fruit. In the end, I love the beautiful simplicity of the picture. To me, it says choice. And I actually totally agree with that. And I love that she mentions the Snow White apple because this is what I thought the book was about. And that's why I liked it when I first saw it when I was little. And I think that this is the apple that resonates most closely with the story. I would say that Bella is the one who takes the bite out of the apple, but I do love that it has so many different interpretations, and I think it's like a perfect cover. I really do. In the movie, we get this little moment in the cafeteria where Edward pops the apple up on his foot and holds it out, and I just love that when I saw it for the first time in the movie theater. Now, although I love the apple, my number one favorite has got to be the cover of New Moon, because New Moon is just the best of everything. This is a ruffled tulip. I think it's so beautiful, but the interesting thing is Stephanie actually had nothing to do with this cover. I think it's very fitting though, because it does look like a drop of blood. I love this theme of kind of the red in the white, kind of like something tainting, something innocent, maybe like a new bloom or a new beginning. I love these flowers, and I do think it's funny that Stephanie didn't even pick this, but I do think it works really well. And then the nod to it in the movie is when Carlisle is stitching up Bella and we see this little imagery here. Now, Eclipse, according to Stephanie, is supposed to represent Bella trying to leave behind her human life but not being able to make a clean break, and there's still threads that she can't let go of. I love that too, and I think the nod in Eclipse has got to be when she cuts herself on the mountain when the blood is dripping. Breaking Dawn is the chess pieces, and you guys know how I feel about Breaking Dawn, and I feel similarly about the explanation. Obviously, we get them playing chess in the honeymoon. We got the chess imagery. Okay, fine. But this is what, according to Stephanie, the chess pieces mean. She says, the chess pieces on the cover of Breaking Dawn both represent Bella and her moving from the least significant player, the pawn, at the beginning of the saga to the most significant player, the queen, at the end of the series. The chessboard also hints at Breaking Dawn's resolution, where the battle with the Volturi is one of wits and strategy, not physical violence. I get the whole strategy thing. I think it's a nice cover to look at. I don't agree about Vampire Bella. I get it. I don't like it, okay? I still hate Breaking Dawn, okay? That's not going to change. The cover of Midnight Sun, I actually also kind of love. We have the pomegranate, of course, because of Edward's self-imposed metaphor about how he's Hades dooming Persephone, which he is, although I maintain that he hates himself for all the wrong reasons, and I actually have a whole video on the tube about Edward and his Hades metaphor, but overall, I do really like this cover. I also like how the pomegranate is open and looks like it's bleeding. I think it's a great cover. Life and Death is just the apple but green, which I think is very cutesy. And then The Short Second Life of Brie Tanner, I would say, is pretty self-explanatory, right? Now, the 20th anniversary special editions are so gorgeous. First of all, just look at the outside. So the outside, we kind of got the whole meadow wrapping around the whole box, and we have the moon. I love that it's black and white, and then we just have little pops of color. It's beautiful. Look at this. I mean, just gorgeous. Starting with Twilight, I love we have the trees, of course, and then we have a black and white tree, and in that black and white tree we see a red apple, which I do love. Like, I love the little nod to the OG. And my fave, I couldn't ask for anything better. Of course, New Moon is the beach. La Push, baby. It's La Push with Jacob and Bella's driftwood tree sitting there. It's beautiful. Like, it really is beautiful. New Moon is definitely the La Pushiest, the beachiest, and the best. Eclipse is the mountain, very fitting. The tent scene, the kiss, all that, all the important stuff on the mountain. And then Breaking Dawn. A lot of people ask, what is this? This is the Cullen house. This is the book accurate Cullen house, and this is book accurate. I do love to talk about the book Cullen house because it really just is absolutely insane, and that really shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody, but the book Cullen house was very different than the, you know, beautiful modern architecture of the movie Cullen house. But that is most definitely what this is. In conclusion, I know you all think I hate Twilight. I definitely don't. I love Twilight. I love these covers. I love talking about them. I think they're beautiful, all of them, except for the word art atrocities that you will now find in Barnes & Noble.